PC companies are trying to make me become a day drinker. I can tell you that much. We got our first casualty of the AI, I'll just say madness at this point. Crucial is no longer going to be very crucial to the industry because consumers are not crucial to Micron's bottom line. Whether you're gaming on the go, working remotely, or setting up a second screen at home, Viewsonic's portable gaming monitors let you play anywhere, anytime, without sacrificing performance. Meet the VX1654 and the VX1754. Ultra slim, ultra light, and built for gamers who want desktop-level power in their backpack. At just 0.7 inches thin, these displays slip into any bag, making them perfect for travel, LAN parties, or creators on the move. And you're getting 144Hz refresh rate, buttery smooth motion, and AMD FreeSync for tear-free gameplay. And the best part, one cable, a single USB-C handles your power, data, video, and audio. No clutter, no dongles, and no stress. They work with laptops, tablets, phones, and of course your consoles. Switch, PS5, Xbox, you name it. Plus the built-in kickstand cover protects your screen and lets you set up in landscape or portrait wherever you're posted up. Need more than gaming? Well, Viewsonic's full portable lineup includes OLED models, touchscreen options, and even built-in batteries, giving you flexibility to work and play from literally anywhere. Upgrade your mobile setup with the Viewsonic Portable Gaming Series, performance that travels with you. Learn more by clicking the link in the description below. All right, so we've talked recently about things that AI is changing in the industry for the worse, if I can be so bold, when it comes to consumers, right? The latest news, obviously, is so I got an email yesterday from an anonymous source that I won't name, gave me direct copy of the email that was sent internally. It sounds like employees found out mere moments before we all found out that this was going to be happening, which really sucks. But anyway, if you guys aren't aware, Crucial is Micron's consumer brand. So Micron owns Crucial, and Crucial is a division of Micron. But Crucial is specific to like consumer, like you and I, regular consumers. And I do have some like enterprise-ish type stuff, but most of that would fall under the Micron name because Micron was definitely more enterprise level. So when it comes to the main manufacturers of DDR, well, any RAM at this point, any memory. You get the three main players, which is like you got Micron, you've got SK Hynix, and you've got Samsung. We'll put this in the order of their market share, actually. So Micron has the lowest market share for, now we'll talk specifically about DDR, like DRAM. Micron in Q2 of 25 only accounted for 23% of DDR or DRAM market. Okay, that's pretty small compared to Samsung's 32, compared to SK Hynix's 38. But yeah, so Micron of the main three is already kind of struggling to just grow its market share, I'm assuming, when it comes to the enterprise stuff. But yeah, Micron's at 23%, Samsung at 32, and SK Hynix at 38. Interestingly enough, when it comes to HBM or high bandwidth memory, that's a different market, right? Because this is where you tend to find HBM on like graphics cards. Remember when AMD tried to make HBM a thing for gamers and it just completely flopped, and then they're like, hey, this is actually pretty good at productivity type stuff, especially things that are heavily accessing VRAM on your graphics card. Well, Micron is also in the HBM industry, but they only account for 21% of it, where Samsung accounts for 15% of it, but SK Hynix accounts for 64% of it. So it's really sounding like what Crucial's trying to do here is grow its market share, maybe not just in DRAM, but also in HBM, because we know that graphics cards, which is so funny, because they're supposed to make graphics, not slop, but they're being used to make slop, and HBM is kind of where the AI like the GPUs that are designed for AI are using HBM. So Micron apparently has identified a vacuum in its consumer market that can be filled with enterprise market. So let me go ahead and talk about, you guys can read the actual press conference for the press release for Micron if you want. I have an email here that was sent to me anonymously, like I said. So this email is direct to, I'm assuming it's company-wide. It just addresses team. I don't know if that team is specifically the Crucial team, but this is from Sumit Sadana, which is the EVP and Chief Business Officer at Micron Technology. But it came in at 9:43, and at 10:02 it was forwarded. So I'm sure that's why the press release went out, because you can't keep this stuff under wraps, especially when it sounds like you're potentially I'm assuming maybe laying off an entire division, because we don't know what's happening to those people yet. It says, team, I want to share that Micron has made the difficult decision to exit the Crucial consumer business. We're referring to Crucial as the brand name, not the its cruciality, if you will, including the sale of crucial consumer branded products at key retailers, e-tailers, and distributors. This decision will allow Micron to focus supply and resources on serving larger, more strategic, faster growing customer and high growth segments across the memory and storage markets. AI, right? He basically comes out and says it in the next paragraph. As many of you know, the AI-driven growth in the data center has led to an extraordinary surge in demand, also known as a bubble, for memory and storage, creating a significant gap between supply and demand. Apparently y'all ain't buying enough to make them want to keep selling you, okay? Remember, we're also talking from the smallest player of the big three. The scale of current demand from our data center customers and their year-on-year growth expectations are causing us to rethink our customer and segment supply allocation strategy. Once again, your money doesn't spend as well as AI's, okay? That's what that comes down to. In this challenging environment, our goal is to prioritize our most strategic customers and segments, and also to keep the shareholders happy. I added that. And to continue our strategic portfolio transformation to strengthen our long-term competitive position. Like I said, they want to be a bigger brand. This decision to exit our CPG customer business was made after a detailed assessment and contemplation. The crucial brand has played an important role as part of Micron for the last 29 years, and our consumer products have won rave industry reviews and numerous industry awards. Crucial is well-recognized tier 1 consumer brand for memory and storage products. Crucial is known to millions of people around the world and is synonymous with technical leadership, quality, and that's where the screen cuts off. Basically, they go on to talk about how great the product is that they're just basically chopping the head off, right? Sumit, you're stupid. Okay, just to put that in there. It's like talking about all your allocades doesn't strengthen your reason for wanting to remove an entire division here. The bottom line is it's supply and demand, and it's only going to get worse because Samsung, SK Hynix, and Crucial all in the same market. So does this mean we might potentially see brands like Samsung and SK Hynix chop their consumer divisions? I don't think so, but also I don't really know what to expect here because I was too young in the dot-com boom to really pay attention. I mean, I was in high school. I mean, the internet was really only good for one thing. And so I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the business growth about the idea of the internet changing the world. And obviously there was a dot-com bubble burst where a lot of people lost their asses financially. And I kind of can't wait for that to happen here, okay? The crazy part is I would love to know what that, there's a risk assessment that obviously has to take place here too, because you can't possibly look at this and go, let's put all our eggs in this one basket, and then if the bubble bursts, do they think they can easily just pivot back to you guys? I mean, are you guys, how long would it take for Crucial to come back and be profitable in a segment that right now, Sumit all but said, your money isn't good enough for us. We want that AI money. So this sort of sucks, but it's also because of the fact that I understand supply and demand in business. Like for instance, NVIDIA, we as consumers of their consumer grade GPUs are only making up 10% of the revenue that AI is making for them, right? So if you look at the most recent NVIDIA like earnings, you can see it's like $4.1 billion for like 50 series GPUs and other consumer grade stuff, all lumped in, right? Whatever's still technically for sale. And then it's like $41 billion for the AI segment for them. And if you look at the year-on-year growth on those segments for NVIDIA, you can see the bubble blowing up. The question is how long before it pops? And now that so many major investors have pulled out of NVIDIA, that means people are anticipating a pop. And those are the people that, you know, these lifelong investors, these people that just do nothing but analyze markets and trying to capitalize and pull out before things get bad. So those major pullouts from NVIDIA make me wonder if this is like the beginning of the bubble burst, or they're just like, we've made so much already, let's just get out because who knows what the future holds. So it's interesting to see a player like Micron, who's been around for decades, make this strategic decision. So it's obvious they want to put all of their manufacturing efforts into HBM and direct to sales. See, here's the thing. It's not like they're not going to be making DRAM. They're making it. They're just not going to sell it to you anymore because the business-to-business sales for these AI data centers is far more profitable. And I think this is where, like, it becomes so just filthy reading this stuff because nothing makes you feel like less important than having someone say, I'm not gonna sell to you. Like it is so odd to be like, you consumers are not worth our energy anymore. And we're seeing more and more brands do that. Anyway, not that this matters too much, I'm gonna be honest. Real talk here, we've worked with Crucial for a long time. Their storage is great. We've used their storage in many things. Their DRAM, not so much. They're never the fastest. Like they never have the highest mega transfers. They never even have matched like timings, but they want to charge you the same amount as those that are beating them on across the board on speed. So I'm not sure that many gamers are going to be that upset about the idea of basic black and white RAM, which is not pretty. This is DDR4, but like the ballistics stuff in DDR4 was good. Like the ballistics was, why is this laptop like, it's feeling the heat apparently of the industry. The ballistic stuff was good and it had RGB strips and it was really fast and all that, but in DDR5, maybe this was the writing on the wall where they just never really developed. I mean, they couldn't even put their labels facing the right way on the RAM for the first bit of DDR5. It just really kind of looked like a show over there, but it was solid and it worked. It just wasn't exciting. So I don't think gamers are gonna be that upset, honestly. But if the whole point of this video is this now a trend we're gonna see other manufacturers following? I don't know. It really sucks. We've already seen NVIDIA say, hey, AIB partners, it's on you now to get your own RAM, which really sucks because I didn't say this in the other video, but I should have. No individual board partner is gonna have the buying power that NVIDIA does. NVIDIA could have literally extended the olive branch to say, we will maintain our supply chain so that you can maintain your business models because we are going to be able to buy it at significantly higher quantities that is going to make it theoretically less expensive because of order quantities and discounts over order quantity. But putting that now on the board partners, they're not going to have the buying power of NVIDIA. So now, like I said, the board partners are going to pay significantly more than NVIDIA could have. So that's just NVIDIA right there, potentially maybe still taking that VRAM, but throwing it in their data center stuff, in their AI data center stuff. So maybe that's what that's all about. I don't know. All right, time to get out of here. I'm not that heartbroken about this. It's just, it's unprecedented to see a brand that's been around for 29 years not leave an industry because it's struggling to make sales, but because it's struggling to supply its own demand. They're their own manufacturer. They make their own shit. Usually a brand goes out of business because they can't afford to stay in business because of whatever it is that their business arrangements are, or they don't have the customers. But for Micron to make their own shit and say, we can't supply enough of it to you, sorry, they have more money over there, see ya later. I'm just wondering what other brands are gonna potentially follow suit. So anyway, Merry fucking Christmas.